Why are we all so locked in on D&D? You know, it's a great game, but it seems like we're all really attached to this one TTRPG, despite there being hundreds of options. And I think the answer really comes in how we discover these games. You know, no one really learns to play TTRPG just by reading the rulebook, because those source books don't actually teach you how to play the game. You know, think about your first session of D&D. You were probably brought in by a friend, or you watched a lot of Critical Role and thought, oh, well, I can do that. You didn't just pick up the book and start playing. And I think that makes sense when you stop looking at TTRPGs like a board game and start recognizing them as more of a nerd culture tradition. You know, nerds have been playing make-believe for all time, and they've been inventing all sorts of strange rules to make that make-believe more fun or fair. D&D was just the first time in modern history, really, that we put a name to that. So now when you try to break away and do some other engine like Call of Cthulhu, Vampire the Masquerade, or even something as similar as Pathfinder, there's this expectation that your players are going to be learning this whole new culture. And, you know, it really doesn't have to be that way. You know, most of these games aren't different languages. They're different accents on top of the same sort of logic that drives them. So if you're looking to refresh your tables a little bit, a new system might be what you actually need. And, you know, I got some great advice from a teacher when I was in art school. She told me that if you want to get into a new medium, like if you're trying out watercolor for the first time, to treat that medium like something that's familiar to you. Treat it like a pencil. Don't start out by trying to do some massive ethereal landscape painting. No, do some silly little bullshit drawing to see what the strengths and weaknesses of this medium are for how you make art. You can do the same thing with any of these TTRPG systems. Try them out like they're D&D. Just remember the rules that are different and see what you actually want to keep. And if it doesn't work out, well, hey, it's just a game. Happy rolling.